Oh, yeah, here we go again. Hello and welcome into Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray. In this podcast, we talk all things sports from my own opinion. You may agree or you may disagree, but all I do is ask that you listen. So come on in, buckle up, and let's take this ride. Hello, welcome once again to Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray, coming to you live from the KJ Ray Studios in Lancaster, California. Hope you had a good holiday. Happy New Year to all. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all. For those who came in, hope your New Year's was well. Hope your Christmas was well. And we're right back again in here on Ray on Sports. And like I said, I'll be back. I was coming back and I'm back. So now, this episode of Ray on Sports, we're going to talk about something that's been very prominent that I've been hearing about and talking and listening to. I call this episode Potential versus Product. Why does everyone see the finished product and don't see the potential? And this had stemmed from an article I heard about black athletes marrying outside of their race. And the reason why I call it potential versus product is that does the person that marrying them outside their race, do they see the potential or do they see the product? Now, there's arguments for both sides. We had some black women who are kind of upset that, a lot of black athletes marry white women. And I looked at a different perspective of it. I said, well, maybe the white woman saw the potential in that athlete before he became who he was. And maybe the black woman didn't see that. Now, I'm not knocking black women. I'm not knocking white women. I'm saying from my perspective on Ray on Sports, because I told you I give you my perspective and you can agree or disagree, but all I do is ask that you listen. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about it, please hit me up and let me know. That's rayonsports0905@gmail.com. Once again, that's rayonsports0905@gmail.com. So as I looked at this, it says, why do most successful black athletes and entertainers marry outside the race? Well, I'm not going to do too much of entertainment, but I can tell you that for me, one of my takes on it is that you're the black athlete, you're in college, you're just starting out. You find that one that you think is the one, and she doesn't really dig you because, you just started out. She don't see the potential of what you can be. She don't see where you're going to go in life. She just sees you right now as a starving college student trying to make it in football or basketball or baseball or whatever sport it is. And she doesn't see the whole thing. Now, I'm not knocking black women. So black women, please don't come after me. Please don't come after me hard. I'm just saying some of the way I think about it and some of the things I feel about it. I'm just looking at it as some women look at it and says, nah, he ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry, dude. I'm good. I'm good with you. And that's like the old saying, a diamond in the rough. They don't see the diamond in the rough. They see the coal, but they don't see the finished product of the diamond. So some other races see that before we do. As black people, we see it. Same thing with a black man dating a black woman who's in sports. You don't see the finished product. You see them all. They always working out. They always doing this. They always going to the gym. They always, at practice. They never have time for me. But if you support them 112% in your relationship, you can see the finished product before it gets there. And I think that's what some people see it that way. Some people see that perspective that way. So not saying that it happens to all, because there are also a lot of black athletes that are in love with, the same race. And I looked up some of them, and a black couple, same race, athlete in sports. You have Simone Biles, who married Jonathan Owens. Jonathan Owens plays football for the Houston Texans. Simone Biles is an Olympic gymnast, and they're together. And like I said, it's the same race. He knew he met her. I don't know what the whole story behind it is, but I know he met her Um, I don't know where he met. I'm sorry, I don't know where he met her, but I know they met and they're happily married. They've been married since April 22nd of last year. And like I said, Simone went on to be, Olympic gymnast. Um, he is plays for the Houston Texans. Jonathan Owen plays for the Houston Texans, but that was one of the ones that I saw. Also, you have LeBron James and Savannah James. That's another one that I saw that was very, very, very interesting. So another interesting couple is LeBron and Savannah James. Now you know who LeBron is. His wife is not. His wife is Savannah James. She's the mother of his kids. But she met. I believe her and LeBron have been together since the beginning. They LeBron been knowing her. Let me find out for sure. I want to give you proper information on her. Their background and everything like that. So LeBron and Savannah James married in 2013. So 2013, LeBron was still in the NBA, but he has kids with her. They have a full family. They were married on September 14, 2013 in San Diego, California, but they've been together since the early 2000s. So which tells me right there that she been knowing him before he was LeBron. She probably met him in high school, maybe. You never know. But that's one of the families or the couples that know each other before that. They have 3 children together. They have 3 children together. Bronny James, Bryce James, and I think he has a daughter. Yes, he has a daughter as well. But that's one of the couples that was been together, for a while, and it works. It works for them. So there are couples that it does work for. Another one is Sierra and Russell Wilson. Sierra, R&B singer, Russell Wilson, football player, NFL football player, quarterback right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Played majority of his career with the Seattle Seahawks, and now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had a stint in Denver, didn't work out too well, but now he's with the Steelers. But him and Sierra are together, and they're good. They've been together since 2015. They have two children together. So that's another couple that's doing well. Another one that I didn't know about was Kentavious and Mackenzie Caldwell-Pope. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a basketball player, used to play for the Lakers. That's how I know him. He also played for the world champion Denver Nuggets, as well as now he's with the Toronto Raptors, I believe. I think he was signed with the Toronto Raptors. But they're together. So there are couples out there. One of the other famous ones that you might know of too is Cookie and Magic. They've been together since 1991. Despite all Magic's things that happened in his life, Cookie's been right there with him. She hasn't left him. She's still there. And when he was diagnosed with HIV, she still stayed with him. She stuck by his side. So I said all that to say this. You have to see the potential in the person before they make it famous. You have to see the full thing. And I think some people don't see that with athletes. Some women don't see that in athletes, period. Not just, dealing with black athletes and white athletes. I mean, just any race of people, and not just in sports, in any walk of life. You meet that person, and that person doesn't see the potential in you. I'm sure some of us as men, we met someone in our lives and we thought that was the one, and we were just making it, out. We were trying to get it together, and they were like, "Nah, I'm good for right now. I'm good." And they don't see what the finished product of you going to be, so they just don't. They don't do it. I mean, they don't think about it. They don't say, "Oh, they might make it. They'll be okay together. Oh, all this and all that." They don't see it, but you gotta stick with them. You gotta stick with them because you never know what the finished product gonna be. So my take on this is, don't judge a book by its cover. That will be my take on it. Don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know. You never know who you might be hooking up with. You never know what that person might see in you. Now there was a story on Venus, I think Serena. Is it Serena? Serena and her husband, and they were talking about people were getting mad at her for marrying somebody outside of her race. Her parents are approved of it, so they're happy. So I have no problem with it. One of the stories I heard about Serena was Serena said he makes me, when you find somebody that makes you laugh, when you find somebody that makes you happy, then find somebody who can communicate with you, then that's the one for you. In her case, I believe that I think he's a co-founder of Reddit, but the other way to look at it is he didn't care who she was. He just saw her as a beautiful woman, and he wanted to be with her. And he approached her because I think the story was he was on the deck somewhere sitting by the pool, and he came up and approached himself to her and introduced himself to her and talked to her. And she tried to like shoo him. She said something to him, and she said he never left, so he ended up staying for dinner, and they hit it off. So he saw her for who she, as a woman. I don't know if he knew exactly who she was, but he had his eye on her and he liked her, and they're together today. So it doesn't really matter, as far as relationship, and I don't want to go too much because this is a sports podcast, but I do go off sometimes. But if you find that person in your life, in your relationship that you can really care about and you really truly love, be with that person, no matter what they are, diamond in the rough, how they going to start off, their potential, what their potential is going to be. I can say for me, I had that where, I would try to date people and they were like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. And then when I get with somebody, then they're like, wait a minute, hold on. Hey, how you doing? That's because they didn't see the potential in me then, but then they see somebody else with me and they see me thriving. Then they're like, oh, well, wow, he had something in him. And I've had people say, I've heard people say, I wish I was with it. I had a chance to get with him, but I didn't, I didn't know. But now you do know. So never judge a book by its cover. You never know. You never know. You never know. So that's it on that subject. What else I want to talk about? We talk about college football. You had the college football playoffs yesterday. Oh my God, that was crazy. They had a couple of games yesterday. I think, what's his name? Oh, yeah. Oregon got upset. Oregon was the number one team in the country. Did I say number one team in the country? Number one team in the country. And you got the college football playoff brackets going on. So Oregon yesterday, oh my God, let me see if I can pull up the bracket again. Oregon got upset. 41-21 over by Ohio State. To me, Oregon was number one. Now, mind you, Oregon was number one in the country. Number one in the country. And they got upset. Why? Did they take them too lightly? Could be. Did Ohio State just put it on them? Could be. Ohio State got some dogs over there. And it was a great game. I saw the majority of it. Ohio State got this guy, Jeremiah Smith. Oh, my God. Had 161 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. This dude is a beast. I'm watching one of his plays right now. This dude is a beast. And I don't think they really understood what he had him. So he ended up the game with 7 receptions for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. Quarterback for Ohio State, 17-26, 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has some amazing catches. I watched some of his catches. He had some amazing catches. He's a big boy. Some have compared him to Megatron Johnson that played for the Detroit Lions. They compare him to him. That's kind of size he is. That's the kind of height he has on him. But dude, that dude is a beast. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, look at this. But I think Oregon kind of took them, to me, it's just my personal opinion, I could be wrong, but I think Oregon kind of took them kind of lightly of who Ohio State really was. And yeah, they got to put on them. They got to put on them bad. So the guy from Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, 6'3", 215. Man, that's a dog. That's a beast. That's a beast right there. So he put it on Oregon. To you Oregon fans, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what happened to you. That's what happened when you take somebody lightly. You know what? And for me, that gives me my opinion on being ranked. You rank number one, and then you meet that one team or you have that one day where things just don't go your way. People come to play, and that's in any sport. If you're the number one ranked team in football, if you're the number one team in basketball, if you're the number one team in baseball, when people come to play you, they're gonna give you their best because two things. One, they want to see how good you really are, and two, that's their measuring stick for their season, for them. So, in sports, in football, in pro football, you have the Kansas City Chiefs. Every team that comes to play the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to give them their best because they're gonna say, well, let's see what they're really made of. Let's see what we got against them. And it does one of two things. One, what it does is it shows how good your team is against them. But another thing is for other teams that's watching that game, if you have success against them, don't you think their rivals are looking at that and saying, oh, they ran this against them and that works real well. Oh, they played this defense against them and that they kind of slowed them down. So we have a little bit better players than they do, the other team does. So let's try that, and that might work. So a team like Buffalo, who has, I think, in my opinion, has Kansas City's number, can run things on him with Josh Allen and the receiving core that he has. They can do things to Kansas City that other people can't do. I mean, other people can run them, but it's not successful. But I think Buffalo is one of those teams that looks at it, or the Ravens Baltimore Ravens in the AFC looks at that and says, we can do that on Kansas City. We might have a chance. And that's what I said about being number one in any sport. You can have that. You can be the number one team in your sport, but there's always somebody out there that has your number. No matter how good you are, no matter how successful you are, there's that one team that always has your number, no matter what. And no matter how good you are, how bad you are, they always got you. They always get you, and it's crazy how it works. And people try to figure it out and try to say, well, how does that happen? How does it happen? It happens. Trust me, it happens. It happens. So with the college football playoffs, like I said, Oregon, before I was watching the game, before I knew it, it was like, I think 21-0. I was like, wait, what happened? But yeah, we'll see what happens. So now in the final four of the college playoffs, you got Texas against Ohio State, you got Penn State against Notre Dame. My picks, my picks right now? I'm taking Ohio State over Texas, and I'm taking Notre Dame over Penn State, which means that'll put Ohio State and Notre Dame in the championship game. And out of that, I want to pull for Ohio State. I really do, but I think Notre Dame is Notre Dame's year. I think they have the potential to do what they need to do to get it done this year. They're just them as an all-around football team. From what I saw, of the game, the little that I did see of the game, I think Notre Dame could get it. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion on this. My show, I can give you my opinion on how I like it. This is Johnny Ray on Sports coming to you live. If you want to comment questions about the show, hit me up at rayonsports0905@gmail.com. Once again, that's rayonsports0905@gmail.com. Thank you guys. I love it. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go to the NBA. I'm covering a couple of things. Okay, so the newest thing. Oh, wow, the newest thing that just happened today. The Heat suspends Jimmy Butler for 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team. Now, if you haven't been following this story, Jimmy Butler, there's been sources have been saying that Jimmy Butler wants to be traded from the Heat, and that he don't think he can. In his own words, he said, "I don't." Okay, so let me read what he says. This was reported by ESPN's Shams Charania. He indicated to the Heat that he would like to be traded. Pat Riley from the Heat said, "We're not trading Jimmy Butler. I don't care what you say. Say what you want about it." Jimmy Butler, in his own words, said after Thursday game against the Pacers, says, "I want to see me getting my joy back playing basketball. Wherever they may be, we'll find out here pretty soon." He said, "I'm happy here off the court, but I want to be back somewhere dominant. I want to hoop. I want to help win. And right now, I'm not doing that." And when the reporters asked, "Can you get your joy back on the court with the Heat?" he said, "Probably not," and dropped it right there. Bam, mic drop. So with that, the Heat, he showed his cards, and he showed their cards and said, "Okay, well, we're gonna suspend you for 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team." Now I heard that earlier. Somebody saying that on one of the stations I was listening to. I can't remember offhand what it was, but he said they have the right to do that because to them that's bringing down the morale of the team for you to say something like that, about the situation. That I don't think I get my joy back, and this is probably not the place I can get my joy back at. He has the right to his own opinion. It's his opinion. He has the right to it. He can say whatever he want to say. But what does that do? For other teams, do you want that player? Do you really want Jimmy Butler? What does it look like for your team? What can he do for your team? He's 35 years old. What can he really bring? Yes, this is his name, and what he does in the playoffs can bring you something, but do you really want to take a chance on someone like that, especially with a comment like that? Now, for star players, if you want to be traded to another team, don't talk bad about the team you're leaving, because then other teams look at that and says, well, okay, we'll get you, we'll start winning, you'll feel okay, but since you start losing, are you going to revert back to the same thing? And do we want to take that chance on you? One of the things right now, the teams that are interested in him or that should be interested in him, I don't think they have that on it. I think what did he have? Yeah, he had a preferred list of teams he wanted to go to. He said he wanted to go to a winning organization, a place like either, I think he said Golden State. I think he said another team that he wanted to go to. He said, but he wanted to go to a winning situation. But for other teams, like I said, they got to look at it and says, is it really worth it? And how much do I have to give up for him? Now, he's in the last year of his guaranteed contract, and he has a player option worth at $52 million for next season. What does that mean? That means that if Miami gives him up, they got to get a lot back for him. A lot. And it's going to take a lot to get him. One of his, I don't know. Okay, so his preferred trade places would be Phoenix, Golden State, Houston, and Dallas. But Pat Riley issues a statement saying, "We're making this clear. We will not trade Jimmy Butler." That can be read 2 different ways. One, that's telling Jimmy Butler, you don't tell us what to do. And 2, that's telling other teams, if you want him, this is the asking price for him. So let's look at the teams he wants to go to and see how that works. I don't think it'll work for any team. He wants to go to Phoenix. Phoenix already got Kevin Durant. They already got Devin Booker. They already got Bradley Beal. Where would Jimmy fit in at? Who would they have to give up to get Jimmy? They probably would have to give up, I say, lowest man on the total poll would be Bradley Beal. They would try to trade Bradley Beal to get Jimmy Butler. Because you don't have the assets. It's a lot of math, it's a lot of money involved, and it's a lot of different things they have to work out in the NBA. You can't just trade a player for a player. You have to, compensate that other team, with either draft picks or a replacement player of that caliber that he wants. And Miami can say, you want him? This is what we want back. We want this player plus these draft picks, or we want this plus compensation, because you got to match that money. Golden State's another team. Golden State they just made a trade for Dennis Schroeder, so I don't think they're looking to add Jimmy Butler. Houston Rockets. Houston's a pretty young team. Jimmy might be a veteran they can bring in to help them get over that hump, but Houston doing pretty good. I wouldn't mess up that chemistry. Dallas, they got Kyrie and they got Luka. Do you really need Jimmy? No. And the reason why I say that is because Jimmy Butler is one of those ISO players. And if you don't know what an ISO player is, I'm going to let you know right now. ISO player is a person that has to have the ball in their hands. That's not going to work in Dallas because they already got Kyrie. Kyrie's an ISO player. But Kyrie's learning how to play with Luka. And the way the Dallas system works and the way Jason Kidd, the head coach, runs it is that he can stagger their minutes between Luka and Kyrie. Or when they're on the floor together, he can run plays for each one of them and both of them play off each other. Like he said, okay, Kyrie, the ball's in your hand. You do what you got to do. Other players will move around, shift, do this, go this way, go that way, whatever they need to do. And it works for them. So for Jimmy Butler to come in there and try to mess up the chemistry, I don't think it'll work. So there's not too many teams out there that I think would go for Jimmy Butler. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. He's averaging right now. He's averaging 18 points a game at 5.7 rebounds and 4.7 assists, and shooting a career high 55.3% from the field. So he's an elite competitor, and he's a very good in the postseason, because for some reason he calls it, I think, playoff Jimmy. That's what he calls it when he comes in. He's already led Miami to 2 NBA finals and 1 additional Eastern Conference finals. And every team that he's been on for the last 13 seasons that he's been there, they've made the playoffs 12 times of the 13 seasons he's been there. So it is something to look at and something to think about. I'll let you know on my next podcast how that is, whether it works or not. But right now, that's it for this episode and this week of Ray on Sports. I'll be back next week with another great episode talking more about the college football playoffs, more about the NBA, more about the NFL, and any other subjects that come up. But let me know, what you think in the comments, or whatever you get this podcast on. Let me know how you think about it, how you feel about anything I talked about today. Once again, you can hit me up at Ray on Sports at rayonsports0905@gmail.com. You can find this episode on Apple Podcasts. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel, Ray on Sports. If you go to YouTube and hit the @ sign and put Ray on Sports 09, you'll find me. I'll be right there. And also, you can tell your smart speakers, play Ray on Sports, and it will play Ray on Sports. This is the second season of Ray on Sports. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for taking this ride with me. And until next time, take care and God bless.